But regardless of that, the Yankees went in, Stacey, and they did what they had to do, right? They were a good team that took advantage of a mediocre team that wasn't playing well, and they won 2 out of 3. You won another series, you keep the truck rolling, and you move on to Anaheim.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. With me, as usual, my co-host Brian McKeon. Brian, how are you feeling?
I feel fine. The sunburn looks worse than it did yesterday. I was not in San Diego, unfortunately, so I didn't get to see the Yankees dominate. That's not where the burn came from. But
I mean, if you're not watching on YouTube, Brian's forehead is pretty. But we're in that part of the year. The weather's been incredible in New York, the last few days. So it's
a rough look for me lately, though, because I got the beard going longer than normal because of the Rangers. So I'm not shaving until the Rangers are knocked out or the postseason's over. I've got the forehead burn and my cheeks are white. So I'm a very peculiar. How I'm not single is crazy at this moment.
If you don't watch us on YouTube, make sure you do, just for this episode, just to see what Brian looks like. It's really funny. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, or subscribe to the podcast first. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please let us know, because more people are letting me know that either our videos are not showing up and they're suggested, or they're being unsubscribed. So something wonky is happening with YouTube. Just double check and make sure you're still subscribe to the channel. Like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified when they go up. And on today's show, we're looking forward to a series in Anaheim against the Angels. It's Minors Monday. We're going to let you know how DJ LeMahieu, Oswald Peraza, and Jason Dominguez are doing. But first, the Yankees win another series.
Yeah, it was an impressive performance. I know there's that crazy stat out there of what happens when Judge and Stanton homer in the same game.
Yeah.
I really wonder what the crazy stat is when Judge, Stanton, and Soto all homer in the same game, because I don't think there's been a game yet where they all have until this past Friday when they all did. They really performed well against San Diego, who on paper has one of the better rosters in baseball. Now, again, I do feel like if you watch San Diego this year, they feel like they're underperforming again this year, right? It just feels like there's something off with the team. On paper, it looks really good. The roster looks really awesome, but it doesn't click for some reason there. I don't know what the problem necessarily is with San Diego. This is obviously a Yankees podcast. You can tune to Locked On Padres to hear that, because we had a great time doing our split episode on Friday. But regardless of that, the Yankees went in, Stacey, and they did what they had to do, right? They were a good team that took advantage of a mediocre team that wasn't playing well, and they won 2 out of 3. You won another series. You keep the truck rolling, and you move on to Anaheim.
Yep. The thing that surprised me, I was worried about the pitching matchups. I wasn't worried about the Yankees. I was worried about San Diego, because these guys are good. They have, if a guy is not doing well going into a start, they can turn things around like Musgrove did on Sunday. But I was really worried about Yu Darvish. I really was. I didn't voice that opinion on Friday, but in my mind, I was like, oof, God, this, I was looking forward to the matchup between Darvish and Rodon. But I wasn't expecting what the Yankees did to him in that inning, and then the following inning. It was unbelievable. Like, honestly,
he does put together stinkers every now and then. Like when Yu Darvish puts up a stinker, it's a stinker.
It's a stinker, right?
He's given up 7 or 8 runs. Which doesn't happen often, but he does do it. And what's crazy about a pitcher like him, and I almost feel like you do want a pitcher like him in these moments, because this is what he tends to do. Mm-hmm. His ERA winds up being elevated because of 2 or 3 stinkers throughout the year. Majority of his starts are 2 one-run games. Watch how Yu Darvish pitches. He really is a solid pitcher. It's 2 one-run games mixed in his entire season with 3, 4, 5, 7 or 8 run games, and that's what elevates his ERA. And everything else is low. It's very strange how it works with Yu Darvish, but regardless, they went out there and hit him. They did. I mean, Judge. I mean, we need to give credit to Judge, because the role that he's been on now, if you look at like the last 15 games, it's otherworldly. I'm going to bring up the numbers actually for you, because I wound up seeing it earlier today, and I want to bring it up to everybody, because what he's done in the last 15 games it's historical. It's actually the last 13 games. Listen to these numbers, Stacey. He's hitting 455 with a 569 on base, 1.182 slugging, 8 homers, 8 doubles, 17 runs scored, 14 RBIs. And the Yankees, by the way, have won 11 of the last 14 that he's done that. So think about how good they've been, but they also win when he plays that well. I can't, and it's crazy how I feel like we did this every year on Mark Teixeira too. The same exact thing where he started off slow. Everybody was so concerned, and Yankee fans were concerned this year. You guys can't lie to us. We were here for the whole show. We have the tape, and we were all so concerned about Judge. And I mean, the level to which he has been so much better than he was bad in the month of April. It's crazy how good he's been.
Yeah. Maybe I'll put it in post. Maybe I'll edit it in post and put the Undertaker in the coffin popping up, because that's basically what Judge did at the beginning of May. People are joking about how he really started turning things around when he got thrown out of that game. And they're thanking that ump.
It was before that, though. It was before that where he started turning it around.
Right. But it was only like a couple days, and then he really went on this run. And it was funny because they interviewed Verdugo after Saturday's game and said, this is the first time in a 20-game span where someone's had 11 plus home runs, 11 plus or 12 plus home runs, 11 plus doubles, whatever the number was. And Verdugo's like, that's my whole season. That's my whole season.
What's funny too is I feel like the stretches that Judge does go on these crazy stretches, like here and there, where we've all seen it. But I feel like the crazy stretches he's gone on in the past have always been he's playing like crazy, but it's all home runs. And he's just hitting two home runs a night, This is different.
Yeah.
He's not doing that. Like now it's doubles, it's walks. He's been all over the place. I cannot say enough about how impressed I am with him. I mean, legitimately, he's been that good this year. Do you think it has to do with batting behind Soto? Do you think that has something to do with it? Or is he just, being Aaron Judge? Like, where do you give more to the credit to?
Maybe it's a combo of both. Maybe he's just feeling like himself, and then maybe he's just really enjoying having the opportunities that he's getting behind Soto.
It feels like he's on slightly different of a role as a player now, though. I mean, maybe he's changed his game more because of Soto. I always think like he's got it's weird to say like we're criticizing anything Judge does, but he has more of that like level swing right now where he's putting more balls in the gap. The problem is he's so strong that he's going to put a lot of balls out of the seats anyway. But yeah, I feel like not just him, it's with a lot of guys. Soto is rubbing off on a lot of this team, including Anthony Volpe, who is now on a 19-game winning streak. He's got the longest hitting streak as a Yankee at his age, other than Joe DiMaggio in history. I mean, he's putting himself in a class of really, really, really good players. This Anthony Volpe stuff, too, I mean, there's not a chance when DJ's ready to come back that he's going to be batting first in this lineup.
Oh, no, he's not.
There can't be a chance.
No, Boone said it. He said it to the beat reporters that Volpe's not moving.
I don't know if I trust everything that comes out of Boone's mouth. That's why I'm making that point of like.
But I don't know. No, I don't think with what Volpe's doing right now, he's not going to screw that up.
No, I agree with you. But I'm saying there's not a chance Volpe can. All I'm saying is I don't necessarily trust everything that comes out of Boone's mouth at a press conference. That's all I'm saying. But regardless, I think with this, he's telling the truth. There's no way Volpe's going anywhere.
No.
It's amazing to me how he's made the adjust. He wasn't horrible in year one, right? But he did struggle at times when he hit well when he first came up, and then there was that the rest of the year was kind of a low because the book on him came out, right? And pitchers around the league were seeing what he struggled with. He clearly worked a lot this offseason, made a lot of adjustments, he got better as a player. He's become a legit factor hitter out there. I cannot say enough about how proud I am of the way Anthony Volpe looks, the way that he plays, the way his at-bats look. His fielding is obviously terrific. He's become one of the premier players in all of baseball. He could end up being an all-star this year. Yeah. And that's how good he's been.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. It's good to watch. I'm glad that he made the adjustment he needed to make. He's not trying to kill the ball. He's just trying to hit the ball. Yeah. That's all you need to do is try to hit it. Don't try to hit. His
power numbers will be there. He's still on pace for like 20 home runs this year. And if he gives you 20 and like 65, which is what he's on pace for as your leadoff hitter, you take that. Because now he's up to like 270. I mean, he's playing really well. It's kind of like a Derek Jeter-esque kind of hitter. I mean, Jeter didn't have the power that Volpe's got, right? Volpe's got a little more of a pop in his swing than Jeter had, but I think Volpe's a better fielder too. So I mean, Jeter just hit for higher average. I mean, there were years that Jeter was hitting 320 consistently, which is ridiculous. No one does that.
No
anymore.
one does that anymore. Yeah.
But I mean, if Volpe gives you 280, that's what 320 was 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Right. Quickly, starting pitching still good. Clark Schmidt was credited for 1 earned run, but then they changed it. So now it's back to no earned runs in his start, but 2 runs because of the nonsense that happened. And Sunday was just one of those days. Yeah. It's fine. 2 out of 3. I'm happy with them going in 2 out of 3, winning the series. It's kind of odd that they're not playing on Memorial Day. We'll talk about that a little bit later because for some reason there's only 8 games, I think, on, I don't know. It's
one of the big topics in baseball this year, though. Like, what are they doing? How can Memorial Day not be a day that's full of baseball games?
Yeah, it's really odd. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. Also, reply to the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday if you want your questions answered for Fan Mail Friday. Or you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description. You'll get texts from us. You can text us questions. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up next, it's Minors Monday.
If you're looking for tickets for just about anything, check out the app Game Time. Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy shows near you. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the moments before your event starts and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. And guys, I got a story to tell you because in New Jersey tonight, the Rolling Stones are playing on their Hacking Diamonds tour, and it's night 2 at MetLife. My friend was walking in, parked his car in MetLife, and a lot of people at MetLife, they'll park their car and just sit there and listen to the music because you can hear it from the outside. He was like, you know what, I want to go. He pulls up the Game Time app, opens it up, puts in his code Locked On MLB, saved $20 on his tickets, and he walked right in up until concert time, got to see the Rolling Stones for under $100. You can't beat that, right? You can find exclusive flash deals, sponsor deals on tickets for hockey, basketball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Anything you want to see. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time completely, right? You just download the app and you immediately get $20 off your first purchase. All you have to do is use code LOCKEDONMLB, all caps, terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONMLB. It's in all caps for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, low prices, guaranteed. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Locked On Sports Today is a free 24/7 streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the noise. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And don't forget that you can catch every pitch, not on Memorial Day, of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. You just got to download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. Back to the last segment. Stace, before we get into Minors Monday, I do have to mention this because you did mention it briefly and we have to discuss it a little more.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain days in the calendar that baseball, like, it has to be on. How is baseball not on Memorial Day?
I mean,
can you explain it?
I mean, there are some games, but like, I don't know if it's because Monday is usually a designated off day, but it's always, you know what I mean? I don't know, because
you could switch it around, though.
When I first got my season tickets in 1999, I had the Sunday plan, but the Sunday plan came with opening day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Old Timers Day, because Old Timers Day used to be mainly on Saturdays then.
Yeah.
So I don't get it, because there was one year, was it 2 seasons ago, where they didn't play on Memorial Day or 4th of July. How do you not have the Yankees on 4th of July? Hello?
It just doesn't make any sense. It's un-American to not have the Yankees playing on these days. It has to be done.
Yankee Doodle Dandy? What?
And they're such baseball-oriented days. You can't not. I don't know. It does as it. It's not a big deal, but as a baseball traditionalist and fan of the game, it does bother me.
No, it is. I'm sorry. People are home from work. No one's working on Memorial Day. You know, this is like the start of summer, like the unofficial, right? Well, the unofficial start of summer.
Yeah.
Right. Why isn't there baseball being played. I mean, it doesn't really matter for us because the Yankees would be out in California anyway, but at least we'd have a game to watch. We don't even have a game to watch. Oh, wait, we do. Let me just quickly say this. I'll go out of order. Hudson Valley is going to be shown on Yes today, Monday afternoon, playing Aberdeen, and that'll be at 1:35 p.m. So if you're going in and out of the house and you want to watch a baseball game while you're at a barbecue, you can watch Hudson Valley on Yes. So there will be some baseball, but no regular Yankees on Monday. Not a good week. Not a good week for the Miners. Scranton, Somerset, and Hudson Valley all lost their series. Scranton had a 7-game series against the Syracuse Mets because they had a makeup from early April, and they lost that series 4-3. DJ LeMahieu played with them on Saturday and Sunday. So did Oswald Peraza. LeMahieu went 0-for-3 with a walk, a strikeout, and a run scored on Saturday. Peraza was 2-for-4 with a walk, 2 runs scored. On Sunday, LeMahieu went 0-for-2 with a walk. Peraza was 0-for-3 with a walk. So, but he's alive, and he'll be activated for Anaheim, as far as I know. He should be flying out to California. Oh, is DJ going to spend Monday flying out to... That's not fun, spending Memorial Day flying out to California.
We'll see how he plays, right? Like, I'm not... I don't
or
think
if he plays, like, where they put him. Yeah.
I don't have too much invested in what DJ is going to give them, right? Like, I've kind of counted him out for the most part. So we'll see what he gives them. I mean, it could be a pleasant surprise, but if you don't get much, you don't get much. Right. I wouldn't count on DJ to come in and change anything.
Right. Somerset played a 7-game series. They also lost it 4-3. Jason Dominguez hit his first home run on Saturday. He went 3-for-5 that day with 2 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. They played New Hampshire and lost that series. Again, his 20-day period ends on June 4th, and they'll have to decide where they want to have him play. Hudson Valley, as I said, will be on Yes on Monday. They lost their series to the Brooklyn Cyclones 4-2. They only played a 6-game series, but they won Sunday's game. Yeah, they won Sunday's game by a score of 4-2. So that's good. At least they ended the series on a positive note. The Tampa Tarpons, they won their series against Jupiter. So they won. Hey, they won their series. They're the only ones. 4-2, and they actually won 4 straight after dropping the first 2, kind of like the 96 Yankees against the Braves in the World Series. Same thing. Now, I told Brian this before the show, but I thought it was really funny. Tampa had 2 guys with the last name Arias in the lineup and Montero in the lineup on Sunday. Hello? And then I was looking at the Florida Complex Yankees because the other day they were playing the Complex League Phillies, and the Phillies scored like 14 runs against them in 1 inning or something crazy like that. And I couldn't find the stuff, but I was looking at their roster. They also have 2 guys named Arias on their roster. So I thought that was really funny. I'm like, is that the new popular name?
Maybe.
Happening?
It's the name of like 2003 or 2004, whenever the young kids in the league.
They're all 2003. I was looking, that's another thing. I was looking at all the birth dates, and I'm like,
scary.
I was like, I turned 29 in 2003, and these children were born. That's just...
You were a conscious adult. Yep. You were a taxpayer at that point.
I was. Well,
scary.
I was a taxpayer for a while at that point, but
scary.
Yeah, it's really scary. So it wasn't that great of a week for the Miners. A lot of lost series there. Plus, the 2 series to both Mets affiliates. How dare you lose to the Mets? Just kidding. It happens. I mean,
where do you think Dominguez winds up?
I would assume Scranton. Right.
I guess I have a hard time believing that he's not going to be on the major league roster, though. Like with how he played in the major.
Oh, yeah.
This should have been so much easier if last year he played horrible when they called him up. The fact that he played so well, I don't know how he doesn't make the major league team.
Is it possible he replaces Trent Grisham?
Maybe that's the plan, right? You cut Trent Grisham, you make a trade for somehow Cashman will make a trade for a guy who throws 96 out of the bullpen. I don't know. It feels like that's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of people that think that Dominguez can go back to the minors. I don't know how he played as well as he played last year, and you don't let him play in the major leagues right now. I don't.
Well, it might just be one of those things where they keep him down there just for a little bit, and he comes back like right before the All-Star break or around. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know where he winds up playing. I don't know where he fits though. That's still the problem. Because it's not like Verdugo's playing worthy of being on the bench. If Verdugo was hitting 220 and you wanted to use a bench player, I'd have no problem with that. But he's not.
Right.
He's not playing worthy enough to be on the bench. So I don't know what you do with this. I mean, it's, again, good problem to have, but they do got to figure it out.
Right. We spoke about that last week. It's a good problem to have. It's an odd problem for the Yankees to have too many
But
people.
they do have to figure it out.
But yes, something needs to be done because in some cases, it's not always a good thing to have too much.
No, yeah.
Coming up next, we're previewing the series in Anaheim, which begins on Tuesday because, as we've said 15 times already, the Yankees don't play on Memorial Day. So we'll be previewing that next. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free Trademaster program. Every Trademaster gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM, which stands for Trademaster. And order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV Channels app. And remember, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. So, Anaheim. I used to hate whenever the Yankees played in Anaheim.
I'm going to hate when the Yankees play in Anaheim this year because we had to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yes, that's right. Programming note.
Yeah. So not I used to. I am going to hate when they play in Anaheim.
Yeah, the games are all late. So show's not going to be up by midnight. There's no possible way it's going to be up at midnight. Although
Game will be on at midnight.
Should we do live shows?
I think we should. I think this is time. Give the people what they want. Right? I think it's time for live shows.
Yeah, I think we will do 3 live shows because it'll make my life easier so I don't have to stay up till 3 in the morning editing and we could just get it done. Boom. And then audio version will be up shortly after the YouTube version goes up. So there we go. We set that for you people. Are you excited? And hopefully we'll have good things to talk about on the live shows.
No, definitely late games though. They all started. They all actually, for the first time this year, all 3 games start at the same exact time.
At least it's not 10:10 because those used to be, so at least it's 9:38.
Yeah,
that extra weird. That extra half hour actually helps. So,
how do we get to 9:38? Why not 9:40? Why not 9:30? Why 9:38?
I don't know. I also don't know why Toronto does everything on 7s. Also,
I can't.
I find that strange. Like, why isn't it a 5 or a 0? I'm
going to complain about this all year because the weird times. There was a couple of years that we started at 7:02. Never 7:02, and then there was 7:07. I don't get it. It's weird. Why just do 7 o'clock?
So it's a tale of 2 teams, 2 different.
Oh yeah.
Completely different teams. Anaheim is in the basement of the AL West. The AL West is a tough division, meaning they're all not doing great, really. Yeah. Like the only team that's actually doing okay is the Mariners. Everyone else,
they're competitive though. Like they're competitive with each other.
Yeah. Yes.
Which isn't saying much, but
right. It's very odd what's happening in the AL West. So the Yankees. Man, I'm looking at this right now and I'm staring at Luis Gil's 2.11 ERA because it's just, it pops out on the rundown out of all the ERAs.
And he might bring it lower. There's a good chance he'll bring it lower because the Angels don't score runs.
Yeah, and he's just really, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I like watching him. It's fun watching him because he gets really excited when he does well. Nestor starts on Tuesday night against Griffin Canning. Nestor is the Yankees' worst starter with a 3.29 ERA.
Yeah.
I would sign up for that every day and twice on Sundays.
I don't know if it lasts, but I mean, dear God, has it been good? I mean, their pitching is so unbelievable this year. It's really, and they compared to, that's the Angels' best pitcher this year, bar none. Their Angels, so that's your best pitching matchup of the series. I guess that's the one you got to be most excited for because Tyler Anderson's been so good this year for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's going deep into games. He's getting results. 2.52 is a really good ERA for them, but again, they don't score.
No.
Like to have a 2.52 ERA this early on in the season, you should not be 5-4.
Right. Yeah.
You shouldn't have 4 losses.
Right. So it's Nestor Cortez against Griffin Canning, Luis Heel against Tyler Anderson, and then in the finale, it's Carlos Rodon against Patrick Sandoval. Patrick Sandoval, 2-7 with a 5.60 ERA. Rodon 6-2 with a 2.95. He's now below 3. So the Yankees have 3 starters with ERAs below 3.
The last good start got his ERA below 3, which has been so good. He's people have weirdly enough too downplayed how good Rodon's been.
Yep.
Right. You saw it Javi on the Padres show. I guess that was his response to not being totally locked into the Yankees, right? Where he was I didn't mean that as a pun, but it wound up being a really good pun.
Yeah. Good job.
He was saying like, Rodon's been good, but not great. And I kind of had a little pushback on him there where I was like, I think Rodon's been awesome.
Yeah.
I think like if you watch Rodon starts, he's got two stinkers this year. Other than that, he's been unbelievable, I think, this entire year.
Those stinkers are not like the stinker that he had the last game in 2023.
No.
We've said
the
this
stinkers are
multiple
3
times.
or 4 runs.
Right. The stinkers that any of these starters have had have been like 3 runs, 4 runs, nothing crazy so far.
Yeah.
So it's just what these guys are doing right now is unbelievable. The biggest worry was, oh my God, Garrett Cole's going to be out for at least the first 2 full months of the season, probably more, maybe
and
not back until, what are they going to do without him?
Yeah.
Maybe like I said on the show last week, they'll keep their heads above water. If they do that and then Cole comes back, things will start.
And that was a legitimate question. That was a legitimate question. We were talking about it as the show started, right?
Yeah.
That was a legitimate question. Is what are they going to do? Who's going to take the reins and be the leader of this rotation? We didn't have the answers to these questions. And all of a sudden, I mean, those are all non-factors. Those aren't even thoughts now. Now your thought would be Nestor Cortez is your worst pitcher with a 3 ERA. You were hoping that a 3 ERA was going to be your best ERA on the team.
Yeah.
Now you got 3 guys below 3. They're striking guys out. Luis Heel's a monster. He's weirdly enough, gambling wise on FanDuel Sportsbook, which is where you should place your bets. He is not the leader for AL Cy Young for AL Rookie of the Year. I'm very stunned by that. But I mean, he's in the top 3 of Rookie in the Year. He's in the top 10 of Cy Young voting. I know it's really early on, but who in their right name? So that we were thinking Luis Heel be the odd man out a few weeks ago. Now they couldn't possibly remove him from the rotation. I don't know who they. People are saying, I don't see them going 6-man rotation. Well, who are you taking out of the rotation?
Right. Like if you told me on May 27th, Nestor Cortez had a 3.29 ERA.
And that's their worst ERA.
No, but I would have figured it was one of their better ERAs. Yeah. I wouldn't have any idea. We would have thought
Nestor having a vintage Nestor kind of year and rolling it back a little bit. Not to the level that it's been this year where that's the worst starter they have.
It's just
it's been that good.
It's unbelievable. It's been great. And hopefully they'll keep rolling into and through Anaheim and then up to San Francisco for the weekend. This was the trip that I had noted on my calendar. I saw this coming from the beginning of the season and I thought, that's going to be a nightmare. And so far it's okay. We'll see how it goes, but
it's a long trip. It is a really long trip.
It's a long trip. West Coast trips are notoriously tough for most teams coming from the East Coast. But so far, so good. Again, just keep winning series. You don't have to sweep everything, but if you just keep winning series, they're in first place right now. A friend of mine jokingly sent me an alert he got from ESPN and said, this is wrong, because it was something that said the first place Orioles in the AL East. And I was like, the Yankees are up by 3. That was on Sunday afternoon when they were up by 3 games. I don't know how the Orioles did on Sunday. I didn't even look. I think they won. I think it was
I'll tell you right now.
It was
they
almost
did. They won 4-1.
Okay, because there was a no-hitter going on. Then it was a combined no-hitter, but then the White Sox.
Kyle Bradish went 7 no-hit innings, 11
Right.
strikeouts.
Right. Yes.
But they were playing the White Sox, so does that really count? The White Sox are awful.
Well, as the Yankees
they are
showed
so
everyone,
bad.
yeah, they're so bad.
They're 15-39. We're almost through 2 months.
Oof.
Well, we are through 2 months because we started in late March. I mean, they're bad.
Yeah, don't get me started on that, because first of all, the fact that Andrew Benintendi had like the biggest free agent signing contract that they've ever had on the White Sox.
It was like $88 million too.
It's the White Sox. They're the 3rd biggest market in the country. There's no excuse for that team not to spend money. It's disgusting. I would be mad if I were a White Sox fan. You don't have to be like the Yankees and the Dodgers, but you don't need to be like the Rays either.
Reinsdorf's done a terrible job of being an owner of that team. And I know he wants to be a good one, but he's done a terrible job. And again, to not spend money, like you said, with your own TV contract, a new stadium, and to not spend money like that, it's abhorrent.
Yep. That's the perfect word. It is. It's awful. I feel bad for my
SAT words.
I feel bad for my White Sox friends, because I do have a group of people that I know who root for the White Sox, and it's agonizing watching them on Twitter every day, because they're just like, it's only May. I can't believe I have to sit through this. I'm like, well, you don't really have to sit through it, but when you're a baseball fan, like no matter what your team's doing, you kind of stick with them. And
yeah, that's how it works.
Yep. One more time, you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description under our YouTube videos. There's a 14-day free trial. You get texts from us. You can text us questions, comments. You can complain about the Yankees. You can celebrate what's happening with the Yankees. You could do whatever you want. Or you can leave your questions under the pinned comment below our YouTube videos to get your questions answered for Fan Mail Friday, which we do every week. But if you join the Insiders Club, you get top priority. It's a perk as an insider, but we'll still answer your questions on YouTube. And remember, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll see you tomorrow.